Hey Gutsy fans, I'm glad to see that you're watching another video. Today I am making brownies. I did not know that brownies were made in a saucepan. This is my first time making brownies from scratch, so as soon as I read the directions and it was like, get a pot and melt the butter, I was like, word? Really? So here I am, using a pot and melting the butter. Making brownies is actually pretty easy. I'm probably gonna make this a lot more times. But I love melted butter. I will put that in anything. We got some eggs. Perfect. And you see, the way that I pretty much do everything is I do one stir, one stir. Also, I cut this recipe in half, so if you follow the recipe on all recipes, because that's where I got it from, which I'll link in my blog post, it's actually served 16. This is going to technically serve 8, and yes, it was a mistake. But it's okay, my brownie still came out good. You'll see that at the end. Got my cocoa powder here. It's actually cacao powder. We had it for when we were doing our keto days, and that was like forever ago. And we still have this cacao powder in there. So I was like, you know what? Let me just use this. Unfortunately, I didn't put extra sugar in it because I was running low on sugar. So that didn't happen. But yeah, cacao powder. You should use cocoa powder, but if you have cacao powder, it works, I guess, just as fine as cocoa powder. That was me basically trying to put in the baking powder to substitute the baking soda and vinegar. I promise next time I'll actually have baking powder to put in my dessert, so we won't have to worry about that madness again. I can't believe I let myself run out of baking powder. So you just get all this mixed up. It already looks like brownies. It's amazing. I think about box recipes and how I was like, how they came out like perfectly and they look just like that. And it's so easy to do it without a box. I put cacao powder and some butter at the bottom of this pan, and now I'm pouring my actual brownie mix in there. I originally wanted to put it in a muffin tin, but that did not happen, mostly because I couldn't find the muffin tin. I had this great idea and I was like, I'm gonna put it in muffin tins because I can make the brownies as thick as I want them to be. That didn't happen. So here are my ingredients for the frosting. More cacao powder. I spread the butter out like this so you can see this time I actually had it real nice and smooth. Here we go, adding some more cacao powder. And pretty much this is a very easy frosting, but the cacao powder makes it very bitter. I would use cacao powder in the brownies again, but not the frosting. This is me struggling to get the honey out and in the frosting, which I think is another reason that my frosting kind of failed. So make sure you have the correct amount of honey and don't just assume by looking at the bottle that you have it all. Also pretty sure I didn't have enough icing sugar. But at first I wasn't even gonna make the frosting, but when I saw the ingredients for it, I was like, oh, I got all this. Let me just put it together. Should be super simple. It was very simple, but I did not have all the ingredients. Or I didn't have enough of the ingredients. I added more cacao powder because it wasn't looking dark enough for me. So I pretty much turned this into like a double boiler situation, and I put the bowl over a pot of boiling water because it was not mixing for me. I don't know why, but it was not doing what it's supposed to. But look at it. Look at that now. It is exactly what it should be. And I put the brownies in there for I think about 25-ish minutes. Obviously using the toothpick text. And the brownies look great. They're just very, very thin. But they look amazing. There's my frosting. Which I don't know why I didn't just frost it all the way across. Like, it didn't really matter if it got in the cracks, but the frosting looks really good. If it was good, I would have put it on way more things. And those brownies in the middle look perfect. I love baking, but I think the hardest part is actually having something to put your items in when they're, when they're cooled off and you don't want them to be super hard and crunchy the next day. That includes cakes, muffins, cupcakes, brownies, cookies. Do you all have anything in particular that you like to store your baked goods in? If you have some stuff that you love, let me know. Put it in the comments below. Alrighty, here is the finished product. I have some with icing, some without icing, because I feel like the icing is going to be really bitter because I didn't have enough sugar and I didn't have enough honey, but I was already mixing this stuff when I didn't realize that I had enough. Surprise. So I decided to just put it on half of them. So let's see if I can find me a good one. So let's try with icing, frosting, whatever first. Yeah, that's pretty bitter. It's not a fun taste. The frosting tastes like coffee, aka dirt. So I definitely more sugar, more honey, less cacao powder, and I feel like it would be okay at that point. Okay, let's eat one without frosting. I'm looking for one that's not ugly. I guess it doesn't matter. Just use this piece. Chewy, tastes like a brownie. I feel like if they were thicker, they would be softer, which is what I like in my brownies. I like my brownies to be almost cake-like. So yeah, a whole bunch more filling. If I would have found my muffin tin, I would have just put it in there so that they could be taller. But yeah, they came out pretty decent for my first brownies from scratch. I'm used to making box brownies and they're bomb. So, practice makes perfect. Next time I make them, they'll probably be so much better. Hope you enjoyed.